A venomous centipede is currently crawling across the back of your neck, its dozens of legs navigating the sweat-soaked collar of your canvas uniform. The temperature inside your suit is 114 degrees Fahrenheit. Your lungs are burning, your lower back is locked in a rigid agonizing spasm, and you have not taken a full, deep breath in over 3 hours. Directly in front of your face is a patch of dry, dead grass. 300 yards away, sitting in the bed of a tactical truck, are 3 veteran instructors staring through military-grade high-powered spotting scopes, aggressively scanning the exact sector of Earth you are occupying. If you swat the centipede, you die. If you twitch your cramping calf muscle, the grass will sway unnaturally, they will see the movement, and you die. If you exhale too sharply and disturb the dust beneath your chin, you die. You have to move your 70-pound, heavily camouflaged body 10 more yards forward to get a clear line of sight on the target. And to survive, those 10 yards are going to take you exactly 2.5 hours to crawl. Welcome back to the briefing. If you are newly assigned to this operational grid, let me give you the baseline. I am a retired officer from the United States Special Operations community. I spent the better part of 2 decades executing direct action, unconventional warfare, hostage rescue, and foreign internal defense in denied, highly hostile territories that will never officially appear on your evening news broadcasts. Because of the active, classified non-disclosure agreements locked in windowless vaults at the Pentagon, my face remains completely redacted and my name is permanently off the grid. The military gave me a profound, highly lethal skill set, but it took its pound of flesh in return. My skeletal structure is a roadmap of titanium hardware. My joints are degraded to bone-on bone, and I carry the localized nerve damage of a long, violent career. The Department of Veterans Affairs sends a disability check every month to offset the physical destruction, but I am not here to rattle a tin cup. I am an officer. I was raised to lead, and I firmly believe in working for my keep. This channel operates on a strictly enforced operational trade. I give you the raw, unfiltered, classified reality of modern warfare and elite tactical training. I break down the grueling psychology, the lethal physics, and the institutionalized suffering that Hollywood directors, video game designers, and military recruiters deliberately hide from the public. In exchange, I simply ask for your engagement. You hit the subscribe button, you smash the like button, and you drop a comment down below. That engagement feeds the YouTube algorithm, it keeps this channel airborne, and it allows me to stay fiercely independent while delivering this intelligence directly to you. If you can respect that trade, then lock and load. We have a highly meticulous, agonizingly slow, and psychologically devastating movement ahead of us today. Today, we are completely annihilating the cinematic mythology of the military sniper. We are stripping away the romance of the crosshairs and the trigger pull to examine the absolute crushing reality of fieldcraft. We are traveling to the elite training grounds of the United States Marine Corps Scout Sniper School. We are going to deconstruct the most physically exhausting, psychologically torturous, and mathematically precise phase of their training. The phase that washes out more elite infantrymen than any physical fitness test ever could. We are going into the Stalk. When the civilian public thinks about snipers, their minds immediately go to the shot. They think of a man looking through a scope, adjusting for windage and elevation, and pulling the trigger to eliminate a target from a mile away. While the ballistics and the mathematics of long-range marksmanship are incredibly complex, they are actually the easiest part of a sniper's job. Teaching a disciplined Marine how to calculate bullet drop and wind drift is relatively simple. The weapons system does the vast majority of the lethal work. The true mastery of the Marine Corps Scout Sniper is not the shot, it is the commute. A sniper team is a highly vulnerable 2-man element operating deep behind enemy lines, often miles away from friendly infantry support. They do not have armor, they do not have heavy machine guns, their only defense is their absolute invisibility. If a sniper is compromised, if the enemy sees them before the shot or locates them after the shot, that sniper team is going to die. It is that simple. Therefore, the Marine Corps does not just train shooters, they train ghosts. And to prove you are a ghost, you must pass the Stalk. The objective of the stalk is deceptively simple to explain and almost impossible to execute. A student must start at a distance of approximately 1,000 to 1,200 yards away from an observation post, or OP. The OP is usually a flatbed truck parked on a slight elevation. On that truck are veteran scout sniper instructors equipped with high-powered military optics, Leupold and Swarovski spotting scopes capable of reading a license plate from miles away. The student must navigate across that open terrain, completely undetected by the optics, and maneuver themselves to a final firing position, FFP, within 200 yards of the OP. Once there, they must fire 2 blank rounds at the instructors, perfectly identify a small target card held by the instructors, and completely extract themselves from the area, all without ever being seen. But before a Marine even steps foot onto the stalking lane, he must construct his primary weapon of invisibility, the Ghillie Suit. You cannot buy a functioning military ghillie suit in a store. You must build it, and building it is an agonizing, meticulous process. It begins with a standard canvas flight suit or a set of combat utilities. The Marine reinforces the chest, the elbows, and the knees with heavy canvas padding because those are the friction points that will be dragged across rocks and hard earth for weeks. Then they sew a grid of heavy nylon netting onto the back of the suit, the back of the legs, and the boonie hat. Into this netting, the sniper ties hundreds of strands of shredded burlap and jute. But a brand new ghillie suit looks exactly like what it is: a man wearing a bunch of strings. To make it functional, it must be destroyed. The Marines call this seasoning the suit. They drag the suits behind trucks through mud puddles. They bury them in the dirt. They leave them in stagnant swamps. They must remove any trace of human scent, detergent, and the straight manufactured lines of the fabric. But the jute and burlap are only the foundation. The true camouflage comes from vegging up. Before a stalk, a sniper will spend hours analyzing the specific microenvironment they are about to crawl through. Are they moving through tall brown grass? Are they moving through green pine needles? Are there dead leaves on the ground? The sniper will physically cut the local, natural vegetation from the immediate area and weave it deeply into the netting of their suit. They become a walking, breathing piece of the exact terrain they are operating in. There is, however, a catastrophic biological cost to wearing a ghillie suit. The suit is essentially a heavy canvas bag covered in thick insulation. It does not breathe. It traps every single ounce of body heat you generate. When a Marine is stalking through the fields of Quantico, Virginia, or Camp Pendleton, California, in the dead of summer, the ambient temperature outside might be 95 degrees. The internal temperature inside the ghillie suit can easily exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The Marine is quite literally baking alive. They are wearing a wearable oven. This introduces the first major physiological threat of the stalk: heat casualty. As the Marine begins to crawl, their core body temperature skyrockets. They sweat profusely, but because the suit is so thick, the sweat cannot evaporate to cool the skin. Dehydration sets in rapidly. The blood thickens. The heart has to pump twice as hard to circulate oxygen to the muscles. Cramps begin in the calves and the hamstrings, violent locking spasms that threaten to tear the muscle fiber. But the Marine cannot stop to stretch. They cannot stand up to catch a breeze. They have to endure the agonizing heat while executing the most precise physical movements of their lives. I have seen Marines pull themselves across the finish line of a stalk completely delirious, their eyes rolling back in their heads, their core temperature hitting 104 degrees, bordering on fatal heat stroke. Let us break down the mathematics and the physics of the movement. When you are 1,000 yards away, you can utilize the high crawl. You stay low to the ground, using your elbows and your knees to pull your body forward, keeping your rifle cradled in your arms. But as you close the distance, as you cross the 800-yard line, the optics on the observation post become vastly more dangerous. The instructors are not looking for a human being. The human brain is hardwired to recognize the human silhouette, the shape of the head and the shoulders. The ghillie suit breaks up that silhouette. The instructors are looking for target indicators. Specifically, shape, shine, shadow, silhouette, texture, spacing, and movement. Nature does not have perfectly straight lines. If an instructor sees a perfectly straight, dark line in a patch of brush, they know it is the barrel of a sniper rifle. If they see a momentary flash of light, they know it is the sun reflecting off an optic lens or a watch crystal. If they see a dark, solid mass of shadow in an area where the sun should be penetrating the grass, they know a solid body is blocking the light. But the most lethal target indicator is movement. The human eye is incredibly attuned to detecting anomalies in motion. If the wind is blowing from the north, all the grass in the field sways to the south. If an instructor sees a single patch of grass swaying to the east, against the wind, they immediately lock their optics onto that anomaly. To defeat this, the sniper must transition to the sniper crawl, and eventually the skull drag. The skull drag is the most physically exhausting, agonizing method of human locomotion ever devised. You are lying completely flat on your stomach. The side of your face is pressed directly into the dirt. You cannot use your knees, you cannot use your elbows to lift your body. You reach your hands forward, dig your fingertips into the hard earth, and pull your dead body weight forward. Then you push with the very tips of your toes. You move exactly 1 inch. Then you reach forward, grab the sling of your M40 sniper rifle, and drag the weapon 1 inch forward, ensuring the barrel does not snap a twig or part the grass unnaturally. You do not move continuously. You move with the environment. You wait for a gust of wind to blow across the field. When the wind blows and the grass naturally sways, you execute your pull, allowing your movement to be masked by the ambient motion of the environment. When the wind stops, you freeze. You might lay perfectly still in the dirt for 10 minutes waiting for the next gust of wind. This is where the mathematics of the stalk become terrifying. To move 10 meters utilizing the skull drag, waiting for the wind, and ensuring absolutely zero unnatural disturbance of the vegetation, it might take a candidate 2 full hours. Imagine the psychological torture of that reality. You have been baking inside a 120-degree suit for 4 hours. You are desperately thirsty. The fire ants are literally biting your face and crawling up your nose, and you cannot swat them because the movement will compromise you. Your muscles are screaming for relief, and you look through the grass and realize you have only moved the length of a single school bus. The mental fatigue crushes candidates far faster than the physical exertion. The paranoia begins to set in. Every time you shift your weight, you hear the grass crunch beneath you, and it sounds like a bomb going off in your own ears. You are absolutely convinced that the instructors on the truck just heard you. You freeze. You wait for the radio call that means you are dead. The communication during a stalk is a highly orchestrated dance of death. Up on the truck, the instructors are scanning. Down in the field, walking directly among the crawling candidates are other instructors known as walkers. The walkers are the physical eyes and hands of the op. They carry radios and long wooden grading sticks. Suddenly, an instructor on the optics sees an anomaly, a patch of bush that looks slightly too dense, a shadow that doesn't belong. He keys his radio. Walker op, I have suspected movement. From the rusted car body on the left limit, drop down 2 mils. There is a dead oak tree. 10 meters right of the oak tree, I see a dark shape in the brush. The walker in the field replies, Op Walker, moving to the oak tree. You are lying in the dirt, sweating, your heart hammering against your ribs. You hear the heavy combat boots of the walker crashing through the brush, getting closer and closer to your position. You close your eyes, you pray to God that your camouflage holds. You try to press your body deeper into the soil, wishing you could melt into the earth. The walker stops directly in front of you. You can see the tips of his boots inches from your face. The radio crackles. Op Walker, I am on the dark shape. Walker op, I see you. Look directly down at your feet. Is there a student there? The walker looks down. He sees the artificial ghillie material. He sees the barrel of your rifle. He keys the radio. Op Walker, I have the shooters. The walker taps you on the back of the helmet with his stick. You're dead, candidate. Stand up, strip your veg, go to the washout point. The psychological devastation of that moment is absolute. You have spent 6 hours crawling through the mud, suffering heat exhaustion, fighting through the pain barrier, operating on absolute maximum cognitive load, and with one radio call, you are eliminated from the course. You stand up, your body completely cramped, pull the dead grass out of your netting, and take the walk of shame back to the starting line. The failure rate on the stalk is astronomical. It is the great filter of the scout sniper community. But what if you are perfect? What if your camouflage is flawless, your movements are fluid, and you manage to bypass the optics? You reach the 200-yard line. You are now in the engagement zone. You must establish your final firing position, FFP. This is the most critical and dangerous phase of the evolution. You cannot just lay in the grass and shoot. The optics are scanning this exact line aggressively. You must find a position that offers a clear line of sight to the truck but also provides total concealment. You slowly, painstakingly use your hands to part the grass, creating a tiny tunnel, a loophole, just large enough for the optic of your rifle to see through, but small enough that the instructors cannot see into it. You slide the rifle into position. You settle in behind the glass. You locate the truck. You have the instructors in your crosshairs. But you cannot just pull the trigger. When a high-powered rifle fires, even a blank round, it creates a massive wave of overpressure. The expanding gases violently exit the muzzle at supersonic speeds. This creates muzzle blast. If the muzzle of your rifle is too close to the grass, the dirt, or the leaves in front of you, that overpressure will violently blow the vegetation apart. It is a massive, unmistakable target indicator. The instructors call it blowing your hide. To prevent this, the sniper must ensure their muzzle is clear of any loose debris, and they must maintain a solid physical platform so the recoil does not shift their body and expose their position. You chamber the blank round, you control your breathing, you wait for the wind to mask the sound and the movement. You pull the trigger. The blank round detonates with a sharp crack. Instantly, the op snaps to attention. The instructors drop their binoculars and jump onto the high-powered spotting scopes. They scan the exact area where the sound came from. They are looking for the disturbance in the grass. They are looking for the smoke. The radio crackles. Walker op, we have a shot fired from the center sector. Move to the 200-yard line, search the tall grass near the drainage ditch. The walker moves into your area. He is standing 10 feet away from you, searching. You are frozen behind your scope, your eyes still looking through the glass. If the op does not see you, the walker will call in. Op walker, I am in the area of the shot. Do you have the shooter? Walker op negative, we do not see the shooter. Put a card up. The walker pulls a playing card out of his pocket. Let's say it is the 7 of spades. He holds it up in the air, standing 10 feet away from you. The radio crackles again. Shooter, this is op. Identify the card. You are looking through your scope. You see the walker holding the card. You must slowly, silently key your radio. Op shooter, 7 of spades. Shooter op, good call, stand by. You have survived the first shot. You have proven you can move into position undetected and positively identify a target, but you are not done. The true test of a sniper is surviving the aftermath of the engagement. In combat, once you fire the first round, the enemy knows exactly what general direction you are in. They are going to focus all their optical power and heavy weaponry on that sector. The instructors on the truck lock all their scopes onto your immediate vicinity. They know you are there. They just can't see you yet. Shooter, this is op. We are scanning. Fire your second shot. This is the ultimate test of nerve. You know that 3 expert sets of eyes are staring through highly magnified glass directly at your position. If you flinch, if the recoil shifts your ghillie suit even half an inch, if a single blade of grass falls the wrong way, they will see it. You steady your breathing, you hold the crosshairs on the truck, you slowly squeeze the trigger. The second blank round detonates. Silence on the radio, 10 seconds pass, 20 seconds pass, it feels like an eternity. Finally, the radio crackles. Walker op negative contact, we cannot see the shooter, clear him out. The walker taps you on the leg. Good Stalk Marine, stand up, clear your weapon, move back to the staging area. You slowly rise from the dirt. The physical pain rushes back into your awareness. Your knees are bleeding, your muscles are screaming, and your uniform is completely saturated with sweat and mud. But the psychological relief is overwhelming. You just defeated the optics. You proved that you are a ghost. You proved that you have the discipline, the patience, and the mathematical precision to disappear in plain sight. When you graduate the Scout Sniper School, you receive the Hog's Tooth, a 7.6 tomb bullet worn on a necklace. It is the symbol of a hunter of gunmen. It represents the fact that you have mastered the dark art of invisibility. So, why do we dedicate this amount of time to deconstruct an exercise that involves crawling through the dirt for 6 hours? Why am I giving you the classified breakdown of target indicators and muzzle blast? Because the mechanics of the Stalk, the profound discipline of invisibility, apply directly to the strategic execution of your own goals in the civilian world. The vast majority of people in modern society operate like regular infantry. They broadcast every single movement they make. When they start a new business, when they go on a diet, when they decide to change their lives, the first thing they do is post about it on social media. They scream their intentions to the world. They create massive target indicators. They generate shape, shine, and noise. And what happens? The observation posts of the world, the critics, the competitors, the people who want to see them fail, immediately lock their optics onto them. By broadcasting their intentions before they have secured their position, they invite resistance. They invite enemy fire before they have even taken the shot. The lesson from the Scout Sniper is the absolute power of moving in silence. When you have a massive, life-altering objective in front of you, you must cultivate the discipline of the Ghillie Suit. You must learn to disappear into the terrain. Stop telling everyone what you are going to do. Stop seeking the external validation of the crowd. When you move in silence, you control the timeline. You can make mistakes, you can correct your drift, and you can build your final firing position without the crushing pressure of the world's optics tracking your every failure. Furthermore, you must understand the agonizing mathematics of the skull drag. We live in a culture that demands instant gratification. If people do not see massive progress in 3 days, they quit. They want to stand up and run across the field, but running across the field guarantees you will be seen and destroyed. Achieving a massive objective requires the psychological endurance to accept the slow, agonizing pull of the skull drag. It requires the humility to realize that moving 1 inch a day is still progress. It requires the patience to wait for the wind to blow, to wait for the right economic condition, the right timing in the market, or the right opportunity in your career before you make your move. And when you finally reach your objective, when you are in position and you are ready to take the shot, you must control the muzzle blast. You must ensure that your success does not create massive collateral damage in your life. You must execute your plan cleanly, quietly, and effectively. Be a ghost. Do not let the world know you are operating until the target has already been identified. The shot has already been taken, and you are already extracting to the next objective. I have worn that heavy suit. I have baked in the Virginia heat, and I have felt the absolute terrifying paranoia of knowing the optics are sweeping across my back. I know the agonizing frustration of moving inches an hour, and I know the profound, lethal power of striking from the shadows. This channel is my way of passing that operational fieldcraft directly onto you. We have a massive archive of tactical intelligence left to declassify. In the upcoming debriefings, we are going to break down the blood-soaked, high-speed reality of the Air Force pararescue trauma lanes and the terrifying biological panic of the basic training gas chamber. If this briefing altered your perspective, if it gave you the tactical patience to put on the ghillie suit and move in silence toward your own objectives, then execute your end of our operational trade. Smash that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, It costs you absolutely $0, but it is the exact logistical fuel that keeps this channel operational, independent, and completely clear of the censors. I want you to drop a comment down below. Tell me about a massive goal in your life right now, and tell me how you are going to stop broadcasting it, put your face in the dirt, and start the slow, silent drag toward the firing position. I read every single comment. I am always evaluating the fieldcraft of the personnel in this squad to see who has the discipline to earn the hog's tooth. Keep your powder dry, check your camouflage, move in silence. I will see you at the rally point. Out.